Hello everyone, and I'm Autobot Sonic, a Telltale Gamer, bringing you everything Telltale Games, Transformers, and more. So, for today's video, you might be surprised to see that this isn't something I usually cover on my channel, but because the content of it is based around something that did originate in a Telltale game, I feel like, along with my just overall love for the Borderlands series in general, I feel like this is something I should be talking about. So, for this surprise video that I am going to be creating, today's video will basically be everything you need to know about Borderlands 3 through this Mask of Mayhem teaser trailer that Gearbox just released earlier today. So for those of you who don't know, earlier today Gearbox and Borderlands official Twitter released this 1-minute teaser for Borderlands 3 called Mask of Mayhem, which just shows a bunch of characters and locations that we're going to be seeing in Borderlands 3, and this is to hype us up for PAX panel that Gearbox is hosting tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where they will be revealing Borderlands 3 for the first time. So in this trailer, we got a bunch of information to go over, as well as a lot of leaks that have been released a couple months ago that we can tie to this the trailers now. So for any of you who want to go into Borderlands 3 completely unspoiled, do not watch this video. Other than that, though, this does confirm some things from Tales from the Borderlands will be coming over to Borderlands 3, which I'm really happy about, seeing as how, since Tales from the Borderlands 2 isn't going to happen because of Telltale shutting down, having Tales from the Borderlands characters in Borderlands 3 is going to be like the second best thing. So let's go ahead now and analyze this trailer to see everything we can learn from it. So to start this trailer off with, the most important thing is we have like this shot of these two, what appears to me as siblings, like giant statues of them, with the sister holding up what looks like an upside down vault logo with angel wings behind her, and then below her we see a statue of what I assume to be is her brother armed with this large gun. And then we see a bunch, like a huge horde of psychos apparently like praying to them as if like they worship them as some kind of gods. Now, according to leaks that were given for Borderlands 3 about a couple months ago, these are the main antagonists of Borderlands 3, in which they are known as the Calypso Twins. Now, we don't know much about them other than the fact that they run an organization called the Children of the Vault, which explains why their logo is basically the Vault logo upside down. So, they apparently run this bandit organization called the Children of the Vault, and they're worshipped by all these psychos, and looks like they'll be the main antagonists of Borderlands 3, specifically with the sister being the head figure and her brother acting as more kind of like her second in command of sorts. Also, in this large pan, you can also see the shot. You can also see some little numbering on the side of this one statue tower thing. That's part of a code for a shift code that if you enter in Borderlands 2, you'll get a special skin for Salvador. This just shows up a couple other times in the trailer, but because the code's already been discovered, I'm not going to go ahead and point out every single time we see it for this trailer. Once it pulls out here, we also have a very blink and you'll miss it shot of Handsome Jack's mask all broken. Now, as you know, Handsome Jack, of course, was the main antagonist of Borderlands 2, who died at the end of it, and then he came back in Borderlands, a pre-sequel, as a the second main protagonist / antagonist of the game, and then he also returned, of course, in Tales from the Borderlands, being an AI copy of him being inside of Rhys. So, what does the broken mask outside this temple of the Calypso Twins imply? Some people are thinking that they're Handsome Jack's other children, apart from the Guardian Angel that we had back in Borderlands 2. Others think that these may be just like followers or worshippers of Handsome Jack, and they're trying to carry on his legacy. We'll have to wait and see. On top of that, we have a couple shots of just showing off some new enemy types before we get another look at the Calypso Twins, just showing what they're all going to be about. We even see on the Calypso sisters' coat, little coat hood, we see Claptrap running away from the sky, confirming that, of course, Claptrap is going to be returning to Borderlands 3, because, of course, you can't, honestly, as much as I hate him, you can't have a Borderlands game without Claptrap. Now, starting at this shot, you'll see like a blinking white dot on the top left corner of the screen. This goes on for a couple seconds and is actually Morse code. The code, when translated from Morse, reads, "Count the Sirens." Now, this is, of course, reference to Sirens in the Borderlands franchise, who are basically these women, or usually women, we don't know if there have been any male Sirens, with supernatural powers. Like, if you remember, Lilith from Borderlands 1, Maya, and Angel in Borderlands 2, all of them were Sirens. And as we learned from Handsome Jack in Borderlands 2, only 6 Sirens can exist in the world at once. So, because of the fact that there's almost some stuff later on in this trailer, some people think that the Calypso's sister may be a Siren, and even her brother as well may be a Siren, but we'll have to wait and see. Once that's over, we get our first look at the 4 playable Vault Hunters in Borderlands 3. Our first one we see here is of this, based on leak, we have like all their appearances here, but according to leaks, we also have their names and their skill sets. Now, this first character looks like this older guy. Kind of looked like, to me at first, looked like an older Axton. He has like an eye patch or some sort of like a monocle thing over his left eye. His name is Zane, and he's going to be the Hunter class. So he'll essentially be Mordecai 3.0, basically be like the sniper of the group. His skills will be very damage focused and like attacking weak points and such. After that, we see behind him this robot guy who I am really excited to play as, and his name is Flack. He is referred to through leaks as the Beastmaster. He'll apparently have the ability to control 3 separate pets that he has, and you'll be able to use them very similar to Mordecai, how he had Bloodwing in Borderlands 1. So I'm really excited to see what he's about. This one girl in this Bandit Technical firing a pistol, that is our 3rd playable character, Amara, who is the Siren of Borderlands 3. Now, you guys know, with the exception of Borderlands the pre-sequel, every single Borderlands game has had a Siren as one playable character, and this time it's Amara. However, unlike Lilith and Maya, who were more close core, who were more elemental focused characters who kind of stayed back and were and in the case of Maya was more of a support, or Lilith, who was more of a a flanker, it seems as though Amara will be a heavy hitter tank character, kind of like Brick in Borderlands 1 or Salvador in the pre-sequel. So, which is really interesting considering that we're having the Siren character in Borderlands 3 take up like the Berserker class role in it, instead of having it just be like a brute like Brick or Salvador in Borderlands 1 and 2. And then for our final starting character, or Vault Hunter for Borderlands 3, we have this one girl here who, when I saw her at first, I thought this was Fiona from Tales from the Borderlands, because, for those who don't know, at the end of Tales from the Borderlands, Fiona said that she wanted to become a Vault Hunter after the events of Tales from the Borderlands, and so I thought, based on the hat and the hair, especially the hair, that this was Fiona. But no, this is a brand new character named Mose, and she's filling out the Soldier class that was previously filled by both Roland in Borderlands 1 and Axton in Borderlands 2, who were my mains in each of those games. So, Mose's ability was actually, not Mose's ability, her character was actually teased years ago, or maybe a couple years ago at Gearbox's, E3 presentation a couple years ago, when they showed off the engine they were using for Borderlands 3, and they showed off her character from the back. It's hard to see, but Mose was the character being shown off at that tech demo. So, according to leaks, it seems as though Mose is a former Vladof operator who, if you don't know, they're one of the gun operators in the Borderlands series who kind of are based off like very Russian technology and all that. So apparently her ultimate will involve her calling down a giant robot bear that she and the rest of her party can ride on and like use kind of like as like a vehicle to kill their enemies with, which I think is a really cool take on the soldier class, where we had like Roland and Axton use turrets instead having Mose use this giant robot bear to and make her fill out the tank role of the group. I think that's a really cool idea. Following that, we have our first look at returning characters from previous Borderlands games. We see Brick, Mordecai, and a much older Tiny Tina now, all like doing this like group high five in like this middle of this explosion. Mordecai's outfit looks very similar to that of Borderlands 1. Same with Brick, except he's now wearing a bandana. And if you look closely around Brick's neck, he actually has a 3rd dog paw wrapped around his neck. Now, if you don't remember, in Borderlands 1, he had the paw of a dog wrapped around his neck. It's like a necklace, as we learned in like one of these prequel comics, that his pet dog was killed by bandits. And then in Borderlands 2, he has 2 dog paws because he got a 2nd dog after Borderlands 1, but his 2nd dog was killed by Nisha, who was one of the main characters in Borderlands the pre-sequel. And now in this teaser, Brick has a 3rd dog paw, indicating he got a 3rd dog, but it died at some point between the events of Borderlands 2 and 3. And then Tiny Tina is probably got the most drastic change out of them all, considering she's a lot older now than she was in Borderlands 2. Well, in Borderlands 2, she was like 12 or 13. She looks like to be around like 18 to 19 in Borderlands 3. Doesn't have the little psycho mask anymore, but instead wears like bunny ears, but she's still got like that playful side to her that she had in Borderlands 2 in the pre-sequel. Once that's over, we get to our next shot, which I am really excited about. We go through like what looks like the inside of a car engine with all these mechanical parts. We see a Psycho holding up a incomplete vault symbol. We see Sir Hammerlock again, who we haven't seen since Borderlands pre-sequel, so this confirms that Sir Hammerlock will be returning for Borderlands 3. But right after Sir Hammerlock, we see this one shirtless guy holding, with glasses, a beard, and like some kind of scarf cape thing, holding like what looks to me like a shotgun. Now, this isn't totally confirmed, but I am pretty sure that this guy is Vaughn from Tales from the Borderlands. Now, in case any of you who haven't played Tales from the Borderlands, remember, Vaughn was Rhys's best friend and one of the 4 main characters of Tales from the Borderlands. He started out as a bit like one of the business people on Hyperion, but as he went on his journey with Rhys, Sasha, and Fiona to find the Gortys Core, Vaughn realized that he really liked living as a bandit in Pandora, so much so that by the time in episode 5, when Rhys gets reunited with Vaughn, we learned that he's totally like become this group of Hyperion survivors called the Children of Helios, in which he has taken on this whole bandit persona, grew out this beard, wears a similar cape and such. So the guys, even though Vaughn didn't wear glasses in the present day, in this he is, but so that makes me kind of skeptical that it's not Vaughn, but the fact that the glasses look very similar to Vaughn's glasses makes me think that it might probably be Vaughn. Anyway, after Vaughn, we pass Ellie, who was Scooter's sister in Borderlands 2. However, in this, Ellie is seen to be wearing a hat very similar to Scooter's. This may signify that Ellie will be taking over Scooter's role from Borderlands 2 as the head mechanic of Borderlands 3 and the owner to catch a ride, which makes sense considering Scooter presumably died in episode 4 of Tales from the Borderlands. One thing to point out though about Ellie here is that her right arm is like this drill laser gun thing. I don't know if she's holding that or if her whole right arm is replaced by that. We'll have to wait and see if we can get like something better to see if that's true. And then after that, we see a blink and you'll miss it shot of Lilith holding a shotgun and with angel wings behind her. Now, because of the fact that Lilith has the angel wings on her, and we know that Lilith is a siren, that leads me to believe that the Calypso sister is also a siren, considering she had angel wings on her as well. As far as design goes, Lilith still has pretty much the same hairstyle she had in Borderlands 2, but her outfit maybe looks a little more slightly tuned up than it was compared to Borderlands 2. And then after that, we have this shot of who looks like Amara or some other character riding this like motorcycle wheel thing, which kind of reminds me of remember in Star Wars Episode 3 that motorcycle that General Grievous rode. It was like a giant wheel. It kind of reminds me of that, but to the left of Amara, we can actually see Moxxi's bar, indicating that Moxxi will be making a return in Borderlands 3. And then it pulls away from Amara to reveal this giant psycho mask made from all of these characters that we've seen in the trailer, including a couple more. So we're going to go ahead and we have a couple of high-res pictures of this picture. So we're going to go ahead and analyze those pictures now. Okay, so the first screenshot I want to go over, like little close-up on this little mural of Borderlands 3 is this one section here where we can see, I think, the Calypso brother knighting a psycho with this big sword. And as you know, the Calypso brother seems to have some kind of big prosthetic or robot arm for his right arm. I don't know if this is some glove he wears or if it's actually like a prosthetic arm he has. And if the sword looks like, it looks very similar to Gortys' own sword that she used in the final fight against the Traveler in Tales from the Borderlands Episode 5. But this could maybe be like the Calypso brother inducting another psycho into the Children of the Vault, and just shows us further like how big this Children of the Vault really is. These next two shots that we have is one of Sir Hammerlock. If you look really closely, you can see Sir Hammerlock with Marcus, who's the owner of practically all the gun shops on Pandora, and is the narrator for basically every single Borderlands game. So, of course, it wouldn't be a Borderlands game without Marcus, so it's confirmed that pretty much Marcus is coming back alongside Sir Hammerlock and a bunch of others. In the second screenshot, we see Tannis returning from Borderlands 1 and 2, along with two other characters. I'm not sure if the guy to the left of Tannis is Roland, Brick, or someone else. We know Roland died in Borderlands 2, and I'm not sure if that's really Brick. It might be a new character. But the guy to the right of Tannis, like this mad scientist guy, is a totally new guy. We haven't seen him before. I'm wondering if he's, a lot of people are saying that he may be Tannis's dad, but I'm not quite sure about that. Other confirmed pictures that show off new characters or old characters returning to Borderlands 3 include Aurelia Hammerlock, who was Sir Hammerlock's sister and one of the 6 playable characters in Borderlands the pre-sequel. We have another shot of Ellie, some Skags, and even better res pictures of our 4 Vault Hunters, or starting Vault Hunters in Borderlands 3, Zane, Mose, Amara, and Flak, which, like I said, they all look really, really cool. I'm excited to get to know all of them. But we also have some stuff of more stuff, Claptrap, Tiny Tina, Lilith, and so on. But then we have this one shot, which I am very, very excited about. So, in this one last screenshot, we have a shot of these 3 characters who, if you play Borderlands 2 and Tales of the Borderlands, you'll know exactly who they are. So, if you look to the right here, you can see clearly that's Zero and Maya jumping out into this black space with Zero. Zero looks like a kind of an updated outfit, looks like a more armored version of his suit from Borderlands 2, and then Maya looks like she's sporting a new outfit as well with this big hood and cloak thing. But the most interesting thing here is that if you look to the left of Maya and Zero, you can actually see someone standing on top of this Atlas building that looks like pretty much that is Rhys from Tales of the Borderlands. Now, again, for those who don't know, Rhys was one of the 2 main characters of Tales of the Borderlands alongside Fiona, who with Rhys was a former Hyperion employee who ended up by the end of the game becoming the new head of Atlas, which was another big faction in the Borderlands series after it was demolished in Borderlands 1, but then Rhys rebuilt it at the end of Tales of the Borderlands. So this implies that Atlas will be a main faction again in Borderlands 3, and Rhys will be at the head of it, potentially as an NPC ally to the players. Though, interesting thing about Rhys' design in this, or if this even is Rhys, that has a lot of people in arms, is the fact that it seems as though Rhys seems to have some kind of mustache, and that is just not flying well with a lot of people in the Borderlands fandom. Literally everywhere I go, when I look at Borderlands on Twitter or Tumblr, it's literally the #1 thing is everyone's like, can someone shave Rhys' mustache off? And I mean, I honestly have no problem with Rhys having a mustache, but I'm just happy to see Rhys in there. And if this is Rhys, I would be so happy if we end up seeing Rhys return in Borderlands 3, because he's probably one of my favorite characters. Favorite characters in the entire Borderlands series, and even like amongst all Telltale games, he's probably one of my favorite playable characters. So I'm really hoping that is Rhys, and he'll be returning for Borderlands 3. And so that was my little everything you need to know about video for the Borderlands 3 Mask of Mayhem teaser trailer. As I said, we will be getting a proper premiere of Borderlands 3 tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on PAX's official Twitch channel for when Gearbox hosts a Borderlands 3 live stream panel. So are you guys excited to learn more about Borderlands 3 tomorrow, and hope that characters from Tales of the Borderlands show up in it? If you are, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later.